This episode is sponsored by Monkey Stuff. Monkey Stuff makes things for makers. We're inspired every day by the craft and creativity of makers and design and manufacture tools and accessories to try to make your making life a bit more delightful. Our products are designed in California, by makers and for makers, and manufactured in the USA. Check out our line of pottery accessories and tools at monkeystuff.com. Follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to in our studios, and keep on making great things.
Hey, this is Erin with Cornell Studio Supply located in Dayton, Ohio, exclusive distributor of Jen Allen templates and Put a Lid on It t-shirts. Find all your pottery and ceramic sculpture needs, including the largest stock of GR pottery forms at cornellstudiosupply.com. At Cornell Studio Supply, we are owned and operated for potters, by potters.
Hello, my name is Kathy King, and welcome to the For Flux Sake podcast. I'm coming to you from the Harvard Ceramics program in our fair city, Allston, Massachusetts. I'm here with Rose and Matt Katz of the world-famous Ceramic Materials Workshop, and they are ready to answer your burning questions about clay and glaze. Howdy doody, Matt and Rose.
Ooh, howdy doody. I don't remember the return call. Oh my God.
Oh no, my God. No, we're not supposed to know the return
time?
Call. That's
All of us are a little too young for that.
I know. Thank God. It makes me feel younger, try using ancient references. So how's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
I'm going to be doing a lot better. You know when, Kathy? When we all get together for a live show.
That's
Yes.
right. Producer Ben and we will be in Boston at the ceramics program at Harvard, and our fair neighbors called the Harvard Ed Portal. They're a wonderful organization that serves the community, and they have a beautiful theater space. Will be hosting us for a live podcast on Friday, June 5th. And then on Saturday, June 6th, after we roll out of bed after a great time on Friday night, we will be having kind of a more intimate gathering for those of you who are part of the CMW community and the lovers of For Flux Sake. But our hope is that we will be also recording a Flux U episode for Patreon.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Patreon
fun?
show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With a live audience. Woo-hoo.
That's right. That's right. So exciting.
I wonder if we'll get any heckling.
Just from Kathy.
Just me. I mean, that's my job. So I'll be on my home turf. Oh God.
awesome.
Oh my God. You know what I just thought of is like you could get up and check on something in my studio to see if I'm really telling the truth or not.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, goodness gracious. I
Kathy's
better
gonna
alert
get
the staff that
busted.
everything needs to be in tip-top shape by June 5th. Anywho, if you're interested, you can visit our website at ofa.fas.harvard.edu/ceramics-visiting artists.
Rolls off the tongue. One more time.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, Harvard. Thanks for making it so easy to say. But I'm sure we will have it also on the For Flux Sake site.
But do note, you do have to register for a ticket. So Boston people, Northern New Englanders, or Eastern New Englanders got a Friday night to come hang out with us, or a Saturday afternoon. You do have to register for the show, so tickets will disappear. And then the Saturday show you have to purchase tickets for, and that'll be up on the website too.
But I'm super excited, y'all. This could be our first dipping of the toe in the waters of On the Road. What do you think?
Yes.
Should we do a tour, y'all?
Can we get a
What
tour
would we
bus?
call it? Ooh,
Two of us.
I don't know about a tour bus. I don't know. Unless we can get one of those cool, like Volkswagen electric vans. Can we do that one? Yes.
Best I can offer you is a tour Subaru Outback.
All right. Jeez. We got to start somewhere, I suppose. Well, anyway, I'm super excited. It's always a good time when the four of us get to be in the same room together.
Mhm.
So, really, thank you all for agreeing to do this. It's going to be great.
Well, thank you for putting it together.
Yes,
Oh,
it'll be
well,
awesome. I'm
it
looking
is. It's
forward
going to
to
be
it.
awesome. Well, all right. Shall we get to it? Let's get to the questions.
Let's do it to it.
Our first question comes from Stephen from Buddha or Buddha? I don't know.
Buddha?
Texas.
I would think it's
Interesting.
Buddha, but
You think it's Buddha?
Stephen, you're lucky you
BUDA.
got the question in. You should have submitted an audio question because we would have
I
known,
know, this is,
and Kathy
you
wouldn't have to
know,
read.
how I can massacre a text question. So here we go. Stephen said, I just listened to the show from January 7th about ash glazes, and I was just wondering if y'all had any ideas how I could incorporate volcanic ash from Mount St. Helens. Oh, that brings me back into a glaze. I was a kid living in Washington State when the mountain exploded in 1980, and we all collected ash as souvenirs. P.S. Got a good laugh hearing about your $25 minimum at your big sale. I have proven time and time again that I can sell 2 mugs at $25 faster than you can sell one at $50.
Ooh,
Okay,
shade
well,
thrown.
well, I'm not taking it as shade 'cause I don't know what your mugs look like, Stephen.
Oh,
Oh.
right back at you.
But good luck.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Mount St. Helens. Oh, that was actually a
Yeah.
scary volcano.
it
Oh, that
was.
was terrifying.
And I had seen a documentary a couple of years ago about volcanoes.
Oh,
and, you know, the
yeah.
thing,
I love that. What was it
it
called?
was like Fires of Love. It was about a couple of
Yeah.
volcanologists.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was so good.
But, you know, as I have to love my science facts, the things that I learned from that documentary that are really important is that everyone's afraid of the red volcanoes when you have
Yeah.
lava flowing, and red volcanoes are kitty cats compared to what they call gray volcanoes, which is what Mount St. Helens was, which is the huge explosion and ash pile. Those are the killers. But the red volcanoes with the lava flowing, that's nothing. You could walk away from a lava flow.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. But I guess the question is, has anyone here used volcanic ash?
No.
I mean,
Silence.
hummus.
Oh, Kathy, you got the answer. Ding, ding.
I did. Oh, good.
I was setting you up because it's actually a fairly common glaze ingredient. So
You get
but
the
we-
gold star today.
I know. I'm putting it on my forehead now.
Aw. Yeah, it's actually a super easy question because we do use it in glaze recipes. It just doesn't come under the name of volcanic ash. It's under the name of pumice.
Or pumice.
Pumice. Pumice.
Let's go with pumice.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling pumice.
No, I'm voting for pumice.
Kind of makes me feel weird inside. I kind
no,
of like it.
no. We're gonna end this right now. It's pumice. Answer the question, Matt.
Just answer the damn question, Matt.
It is. Pumice is just a combination of generally silica and alumina and some calcium primarily and sodium. So it's kind of just representing a lot of the other materials that we regularly use. It's just in a different chemical form. So it's not super common. One of the things with our materials is that we use the materials in our glaze recipes because each material actually fulfills one of the chemical needs of our glazes. So feldspars give us alkali metal fluxes. Something like whiting, calcium carbonate, gives us a calcium, which is an alkaline earth flux. And we use those materials historically because they are the most concentrated form of that material that we can get. The problem with pumice, why we don't use it a ton, is because it's calcium mostly would be that sort of source, but it's really just a bunch of silica and alumina. Why do I want to use a calcium source that's not pure when I can use whiting, which is essentially pure calcium? And so it's just not that common, but like you can totally use the pumice if you've got it. But that said, the name ash, right, to the conversation about wood ash glazes and fake wood ash glazes, Yes, this is also literally ash, but its chemistry is quite different than the natural tree, plant, and grass-based ashes that we were talking about before. But yeah, you'd essentially use it as sort of a calcium source in the glaze. If you get into the chemistry of it, you can calculate for it. But if you look online on Glazy and just look for glaze recipes using pumice, that's probably you'll find something that's decent as a place to start.
So you're saying pumice is just complicated.
Oh, Rose. E2
Rose. I don't think it's very nice for us to gang up on Kathy because she's very sensitive to pumice.
Okay. So
I just had to Google something though, because I had this thought from way back in my early days that isn't bentonite also related to volcanic ash?
yeah, that's a good point.
It is. It's a different type of clay. It's called a montmorillonite, which is the name for bentonites, but it is a volcanic byproduct. And in fact, the name bentonite comes from Benton, Wyoming, which is where it was first discovered. And it was the result of some ancient Western volcanic explosion. So in fact, it is also a volcanic material. Very good, Ben.
I had to Google to make sure I was right. So I can't get full points. I get like a quarter of a point for that one.
Hey,
I'm still in the lead, Ben.
Yeah,
Back
still
off.
in the lead.
Yep.
You get half a star.
after 5 or 6 or more years together, you guys have finally learned a thing. Congratulations.
That's a good.
I've broken through.
I'm going to write about this in my diary tonight. Okay. Today's episode is brought to you by the Rosenfield Collection of Functional Ceramic Art. The collection exists as an online source for research and inspiration, featuring photos of thousands of objects made by over 800 artists. The images are high quality and can be used with no permission required. To find out more, visit www.rosenfieldcollection.com.
Glazes don't make sense, but that's why Rose and I are here at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com, helping translate glazes for real ceramicists like you. So join us for our brand new class starting October 1st. It's for everyone from beginners to masters. We clear up all the mysteries of glazes to make them work for you. Join us at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com for making glazes make sense.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We're on a roll, people. I'm feeling good about this episode. All right, our next question comes from Britt from Brooklyn, New York. And Britt has concerns about little ones in their workspace at home.
Hi, my name is Britt, and I'm reaching you guys from Brooklyn, New York with a question about the home pottery setup. You know, the availability of home pottery materials like wheels, hand building equipment, things like that has become increasingly available in, I guess, the last 5 years. And I'm curious about extra considerations that we should have when we are, taking those steps. We talk about how realistically our exposure to silica in a studio where we are, there are ostensibly safety and cleanliness standards, and we go home at the end of the night, our exposure is, ostensibly quite low. But what if the call is coming from inside the house? Especially if we are maybe, we don't have a specific designated studio space. We're using common areas as sort of multi-use spaces. And if we have little guys, whether that's pets or babies, that we're also keeping safe. What are some considerations or precautions that we should have when making those decisions? Thank you so much.
Well, great points for the great horror movie reference. And so this is about the little ones. What about the children?
Well, first, the sympathies to the urban makers, man. You
I know,
guys
right?
have got it
Yeah.
tough.
Mhm.
Like we live
It
in
is
in
hard.
the woods, and we got nothing but room. And that thought of, even when I was a young person, there were some of my friends who'd be like, "Yeah, I'm moving to Philly, or I'm moving to Boston, or I'm moving to New York, and I'm going to be in ceramics." And I would just be like, "I don't think I could do that." I just literally, from a practical standpoint, it is hard. So, get my sympathies for that. In the children part, or animals, I still think back to when we had our first child, and we had this doctor who was a little bit overreactionary.
Yes. Very overreactionary.
About what? About the ceramics part of things, or
No, about
Everything.
being careful when you're pregnant and things that
Oh.
you should do and you shouldn't do. And Matt was probably with me in this appointment, and it was probably early on in my pregnancy, and she said, it was around Valentine's Day, and she's like, so if this guy gives you chocolates and if they have alcohol in them, you need to just throw them out. Just take them and put them in the trash. Don't eat them because of that
Okay.
alcohol. And they're like, she went on this big tirade about, alcohol, fetal syndrome, and not
Which
not
is
a
very
pleasant
serious.
conversation. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
sure,
but,
absolutely.
but
But
The
not
problem is,
from a
as-
chocolate in a box.
Well, but and as y'all know, if you've listened to the history episodes, my father, Dr. Bill, was an obstetrician. So I immediately called him. And I'm like, "What is she talking about?" And he's just like, "That, there's reasonable expectations." But we asked her about the clay thing. And I don't remember the exact details, but it was something along the lines of, "No, you must strip off your clothes before you leave work. Do you have a shower at work? Can you take a shower before you leave?
Yeah.
You definitely need to take a shower before you touch the baby. You need to always have 5 changes of clothes every single week. You need different clothes from when you go into work, and you probably should have fresh clothes that you keep in a bag for when you leave work, not the same ones you came into, because and it's just like, oh, just stop.
yeah, like
Just
oh,
please stop. Because yes, it is easy to be afraid. Again, not medical professionals, but those of you who have listened to our conversations about silica and all of that and how the realistic considerations of it, I would say the number one thing is just keep your space clean. And it's not even the toxicity standpoint of it. Clay dust is real, but again, you need massive amounts of exposure, the right types of exposure. It's not from throwing. It's not even from batching glazes. It comes from making clay bodies where you're dealing with hundreds of pounds of clay materials in a dust form that get aerosolized. And that's the major
it's
thing.
just dry clay. Like, don't leave clay to dry in your
Mhm.
space and then, walk all over it or, move it around. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponge, then microfiber. You're going to be all
Yeah.
set. You
Mhm.
shouldn't be able to see. If you can see the clay, yeah, that's a problem. So just make
Mhm.
sure your area that you've worked in, it's clay free, no swipes, nothing.
Yeah. But, would I be worried about having a kid like running around the studio and like licking something randomly? Well, if you keep it clean, it'll be fine. But we raised 2 kids and they're like 65% functional. I mean, they
Exactly.
are almost.
And the
idiots.
dogs come into the studio and eat everything in those little rubber mats. Like, they haven't died yet. So,
But that is the thing. Our dogs, I love them. They're real dumb, you guys. They're
Oh
not
my
smart.
gosh.
Okay?
Not smart at
And
all.
I'm not saying this from like a toxicity concern, but our dogs will eat anything they find on the floor. Dust
Anything.
bunnies, sponges, bouncy balls, bottle caps. We had to have something removed from one of our dogs that the vet didn't even know what it was. They just said
No, they couldn't
unidentified metal
identify it.
object.
Oh, no.
So my major concern is just the random clay things that like a dog would eat, and not that it's dangerous, but just because they would eat it and they shouldn't be. So I would
Yeah.
watch out for that. And that's the hardest part about a small multi-use space, is that you have to clean and organize much more than anybody else has to, because you have to get it away and put it away. But yeah, just watch out for the little things. But it's all normal stuff that when you have small children or dumb animals, that you're just going to be normally concerned.
Yeah.
with. I
And
mean,
when somebody offers you materials from grandma's closet say no to the uranium. Just
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah, no uranium. You know,
Unless
I
you
mean,
want a
you know,
glowing beagle. Yeah. Well, excellent. I think we've hit that one on the head. So let us move forward to a record-breaking third question
Ready?
answer.
Oh.
I know. I know.
Yes.
I
We're
know.
on a
I'm
roll.
going to read
Yes.
really fast. So, oh no, I don't have to read. It's an audio. So this is from Aseta from Washington, D.C., and they want to know about preventing pinholing.
Hi, for Flux Sake. My name is Aseta from DC. I wanted to call in because I had a question about something you mentioned on a previous episode. I believe you said that pinholing can sometimes be about voids in the clay body or about glaze application. So I'm wondering what would be your advice on preparing bisqueware for glaze application to prevent any issues like that before glaze firing. Namely, should I be sanding my work, my wheel thrown work, or hand-built work actually, before applying glaze? I wonder if that will help me prevent pinholing. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, I would do anything to avoid sanding your work. Oh, Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. In fact, I'm like the sanding police at my studio. I'm like, step away from the paper.
Leave the
It's not
paper.
gonna, it's
Walk
not gonna
away.
help.
Yeah.
That piece was lost long before I got to this point.
Yeah. But I think the logic behind it not helping is the body voids, and Matt can give us and Rose can give us the actual truth of this. But the body voids thing is a microscopic issue. It's not like sanding it would help the body voids in the bisque that would potentially cause a pinhole.
It would make it worse. It would
Yeah.
actually
There you
make
go.
it much worse.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Rose would see this all the time in tile, especially because everybody suffers from bubbles, right? Everybody's had that bubble in their throwing body. And in tile, when you had these flat tiles, like it just would be right at the surface.
Yeah. And you knew the extruder was down because he had bubbles coming out of the kiln.
Bug net, yeah.
Yeah.
The sanding, though, specifically, why is that a problem? Well, so body voids are essentially the air pockets, right? So that thing that when you're throwing and you feel that little air pocket, but they can be even more microscopic. You may not even feel them, but they are bubbles that were not taken out by the pug mill or by your wedging that end up near the surface. Now, sometimes they're there and we just ignore them in the bisqueware and just glaze over them. And that's a problem because there's literally no body for the glaze to stick to. And so you just don't get any glaze there. But you just sort of ignore it. You just don't see it because you're just moving on or they're super small. Sometimes they could melt that tiny little meniscus, you know, that little edge that didn't break the surface, and that can remove them. Because everybody thinks that clay bodies melt into glazes. That's not the way it happens. It's actually the glaze melting into the clay body, which is the way, if there is any chemistry exchange, it's that way. But so if you sand it, you might just break that meniscus and then you're going to just get more of them if they are on the surface. So I wouldn't do that. And then the sanding in general, like, yeah, dirty, messy, as we just were talking about, like, I'm not paranoid about the silicosis thing. Probably sanding bisqueware is the worst thing that you could do to expose yourself to that. And I'm talking about way over glaze batching. Glaze batching is actually not much of a threat. Sanding bisqueware, that would be a real threat because it's sort of near your face. You're doing it for a long period of time. You're constantly breathing.
That the dust goes everywhere. It's not just in your immediate area. It can spread to other areas and surfaces that you might not think to clean.
100, but much less getting in all your clothes, or even if you're wearing an apron, it'll get all over those. It's not a good thing to do. And is it really giving you that much of a better surface? So there is that. The pinholing, just to step back, is, of course, we do have to define that pinholing is not one problem. Pinholing is 4.5 problems that everyone just calls pinholing, and that's why we have problems defining it. The half. Well, the half.
Yeah.
So the number 1 and number 2, where's the half come in? It's body voids. And then the other one is application voids. And these are the ones where you had a naked spot of glaze. And that happens because the water is rushing into your bisqueware in the application, and the air that's in there is trying to rush out. And so I always call it the sort of crowded crosswalk problem. And it'll just blow a bubble on the surface. Now, those, when you see the bubbles in the glaze application, those are the ones that you can rub and they'll go away. Or that's when you can dab a little bit more glaze and it'll fill them in. But you have to see them in the application stage, not after. So body voids and application voids are 2. Then the next one is blistering, which is commonly associated with iron and copper. You have to look at the recipe and know if there's iron and copper in there. The third one is titanium pitting, which again, look at a recipe. Do you have titanium or rutile? And then the last one is actual pinholes, which is the air that gets trapped inside your glaze application, because a glaze application is only 30 to 50% air. And so it's only 70 ish or 70 to 50% raw material. And so that air just gets trapped in the melt, and then that can breach the surface in that case. In the greater question of, can you solve it with your bisque? No.
Well, how do you prepare? Yeah, I guess
How do you, our
best
question was,
course
how do
of
you
action
prepare?
to avoid it? Yeah.
Yeah. It comes back to wedge, make sure everything's really well pugged. And look, I mean, honestly, it's the number one shortcoming is people don't look. They just have their bisqueware and then they just grab it from their stack of bisqueware when they're glazing and they go. You should spend the time and examine it. Look to see if there is a spot missing on there, because that will bite you in the butt later on.
After you glaze or before?
Before you glaze, spend some quality time with your bisqueware. Ask it how it's feeling, right? Spend some time thinking about it, not just yourself.
Oh my gosh, I just had an
feelings too.
imagination of a plate going into glaze. It's like, oh no, don't put me in there.
Quick, somebody start making animated memes of putting eyeballs on bisqueware and pots being made. That's a new meme format.
There you go. Oh my God. All I know is if we form a band, we're going to be called the Body Voids.
Ooh, yes. Like it. Yeah.
And we can put
Dirty
that on
clay
the
pond.
side of our tour bus that we're getting.
Yes, exactly.
I think you mean our
VW
Subaru
bus.
Outback.
Again with the Subaru Outback, which
That's all
I
I can
also
offer you.
I know. It's sad. It's sad.
That's
Oh
what I
my-
drive. What?
I know. I do too. Listen, I do too.
Yeah, baby,
it's our-
Outback family.
It's
the
our
ceramic
team.
mobile.
Well, it's my team car. So, but anyway,
Oh, that's
Us
awesome.
too.
I'm so proud of us for answering 3 questions today, y'all. We did good. All right. So until we see each other, and for those of you near the Boston area, come see us in June at Harvard Ceramics. Come on by.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
Well, folks, that's it for this week's episode of For Flux Sake. I'd like to thank the listeners who submitted questions this week. And if you want your question answered on the show, shoot us an email at forfluxsakepodcast@gmail.com. So join us next time. And when in your studio, remember what Rose always says.
Always remember to test, test, test. This is a test of the emergency glaze system. Beep.
Hi, everyone. If you've been leaning into our Glaze deep dives to troubleshoot your studio struggles or just geek out over oxide ratios, we'd love to invite you to join us over on our Patreon.
Think of it as the flux that helps our creative process flow a little more smoothly.
Producing for Flux Sake takes a lot of behind-the-scenes chemistry, from research time to tech costs. By becoming a Patreon member, you're directly helping us keep the show independent and technical.
By supporting us at the $5 a month tier, you get access to our Patreon Flux U bonus episodes, archived for Flux Sake Season 1 and Season 2. And you get priority submission for your questions from the team to answer in future episodes. Oh, and along with exclusive for Flux Sake merch.
We know how quickly the cost of cobalt adds up, so we've kept our tiers accessible. Every bit of support means we can spend more time answering your questions and less time worrying about the business side of things.
So check out our link on our show notes or visit patreon.com and keep the conversation and the kilns firing.